So, wow, it's got dark outside. You'll have to excuse the darkness. And the cat. Cheddar? Hey, buddy. I need you to move. You're in the way. Actually, no, fuck it. You can stay there. You stay there. Right. Excuse the old man and the red lighting off my computer. So, this morning I was having a conversation with my brother-in-law, Mark. It seems he's got a bit of gift here. He's got a perfectly good camera. 5D Mark II. And I sent him a Canon L lens a while back. So, he sees me buy cameras, buy lenses. He's like, hey, how can I upgrade this? So I gave him a call on Facebook. And I don't think he needs to upgrade his gear. There's nothing wrong with a 5D Mark II and that lens. So we were talking, he was working, he's a gardener. And I was like, maybe I need to give you a tutorial on editing. So I'm going to sit down with him on Friday and go through it. But I figured, well, fuck it. There's other people out there that might actually need a quick tutorial on editing. Now, this is quick and this is very, very dirty. There's two things you have to remember. I've got 3 photos sitting there. There's 2 things that's hard to think. 1, I always shoot raw. 2, I always exposure comp my cameras. Even when I was shooting Canon, I would exposure comp my camera by at least 1 stop. If you blow the whites on your shot, or your camera's not white balanced properly, or you got it set to tungsten or something nutty, you ain't going to get your photograph back from blown whites, especially if you're shooting a Leica. Now, the first photograph we've got here is an old work colleague of mine on Rainbow Six Siege, because I make video games for a living, is Way. And this is at the start of the 6 Invitational a couple of years ago, which means I was shooting the Leica Q. I know this is exposure comped 100% because I learned very quickly, even when I was shooting my Leica M8 originally, to exposure comp my cameras. So, exposure comp. Alright, buddy. Yeah, he's good. So, here's what I generally do. First things, straight up here, going straight to black and white. I know this is exposure comped, so I'm going to put a 0.5 plus on this and see what it gives us. Not much, to be honest. I'm going to go down, I'm going to look at the contrast slightly, and you can see what it's doing. If you bring it up, the shirt just comes out too much. My point of focus is the back of his head. It's not centered. He didn't know I was there when I took this photograph. Highlights. If we look at this, I'm going to drop the highlights all the way down so you can see a bit more of the stage. You can see the difference. You can see there's a little bit more in the thing. Shadows. Like, if you bring up the shadows, it's going to be too much. So I'm bringing the shadows down a little bit. Whites. I can blow this out massively. Like, you could maybe go with that, or you could drop it all the way down. I don't know where I'm going to be happy with this, so I'm just going to leave it there for a minute. And the blacks, I'm not too worried about the blacks, so I'm just going to leave it thing. So that's the first pass. It's generally quick, dirty. Next, we're going into effects. We're straight up going on texture, 25, clarity, 25, dehaze, 25. Look at the difference. There is a massive difference. If I hold this, this is without the effects, this is with the effects. You can look at the guns on this dude. So we're straight up 25, 25, 25ing. And apart from maybe messing around a little bit with these here, that's not how I originally edited the photo, but that's just the quick, dirty. I kind of like that. Fast. There's better people out there. Let's move to the next photo. This is Mark. This is my neighbor. It's a face only a mother could love, and God knows waking up next to that. But this is my neighbor next door. I'm going to go straight black and white. Done. Easy. I'm actually going to go down to browse all profiles on this. I'm going to get rid of all my favorites. You don't need to see those. I'm going straight to black and white, and the one I generally use is black and white 6. I know this was shot on a Leica Q, so I'm going to put the exposure up by 1 straight away. That's actually a decent photograph. You don't need to do much more than that on this, but let's play. You just sneeze on me. You just gooped on me. I'm going to drop the contrast a little bit. I don't want too much shiny on his massive, massive forehead. Shadows. I'm going to bring it up a smidge. Whites. Meh. Not going to touch. First pass. Next. Oops, not detail. Effects. We're straight out. 25. 25. 25 on this. Done. That's all you need to do to that. Nothing more, nothing less. Are you going to settle down there, buddy? Okay, you're not. He's just going to... You okay? You having a moment? Hat? You want to hat a little bit? Yeah, I love you too. Mwah. This one is of a... I don't even know what camera this is on. This is a Triumph. The reason why I took this photograph is because an English car. Looks like a TR6. Not entirely sure. Soft top. Looks quite cool. Same again. I'm going straight black and white 06. I don't know what camera this is, but I'm pretty sure I exposure comped it. Now, the issue with this photograph is it was a very cloudy day, if I remember, and the sky is just white. You are not going to be able to bring that back. Let's drop this. Let's put this up to 0.5. You can see the difference here. Contrast. I'm going to bring the contrast down a little bit. You can see the difference over here on the brick. Highlights. You're a bit sneezy there, buddy. Highlights. I'm just going to tinker with those a little bit. If you bring it down, you're going to get this in the sky. And we'll leave it at that. I don't like it, and that's not normally how I'd leave it. So we'll go. This is just a quick and dirty. Shadows. I'm just going to drop a smidge. Whites. What I'm looking at here is I'm just looking at what the sky is doing. If I bring it all the way down, it looks like super moody. But you could bring it all the way down and then bring the exposure up. This is not how I would edit this photo most of the time, but let's go through and just mess with that. Blacks, maybe a little bit. So lights done, and I'm going straight into effects, and we're going straight 25, 25, 25. That is starting to look a little bit more like how I like to edit photographs apart from the sky. Now, the one thing I would do on this is actually the lens blur, which has got much better. Click apply on the lens blur. Your computer, depending on how fast it is going to estimate the depth for you. I've got a pretty fast PC, so it's just straight going to take a little bit of time. It's estimated the depth. If I turn this on and off, you can see the foreground slightly blurred. The walls slightly up on the left, slightly blurred. You can play with all of these. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight for a point, focus, and I'm going to click right on the front of the car. What it's going to do now, or it should do, yep, there you go, is refining the focal range. The good thing about this tool is you can actually visualize the depth of this. If you click this button here, you can see where I've clicked, where it wants to be, the dark purple. And you can actually play with this and bring it back and forth. I want the focal range to be right up the end. Remember, I was shooting a 28mm lens, so... And then you can turn this off. That, although I would probably maybe add a gradient blur at the top, but that's roughly it. So you've got this, subjects not brilliantly framed, but whatever, mark. That's not how I actually output my headshots of people. I normally half face this. This wouldn't get shown without it being half face. And then a Triumph TR6. That's how I edit photos quick and dirty. There's more to it, and I do get into, like, you know, way deeper into my edits. But for a quick first pass, that's how I suggest you do it. I am not going to mention about the box that just turned up. That's for a different video. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe. If you didn't find it helpful, like and subscribe. Have a good one. Peace. Hey buddy, you alright? Yeah, he's an old man. Have a great day.